What is your favorite aspect of post-production?
So I think my favorite has to be the general creative outlet that it gives me, the collaboration, and I guess being able to be creative in collaboration. I really, really, really enjoy that, and crafting of stories. Just it sounds because I mostly work in documentary, um, but it's and some drama, but mostly docs, and it sounds so obvious to say I just really love storytelling, but it's just so true. I really enjoy hearing someone's story or discovering someone's story and finding a way to craft that to make it really valuable for other people as well, and to find elements of their stories that touch people that you just hadn't really considered, just the way they come out. I think everybody is so fascinating, and it's just, yeah, really amazing to be part of getting their people's stories onto screen.
Yeah, I love that. What about, okay, we got to talk about your least favorite. What's your least favorite aspect of post?
Without a doubt, schedules. Schedules get shorter and shorter, tighter schedules, really long days. It's been like that since I started my career, and I only realized that that was something I need to put boundaries around after I had kids. Um, Something that I think we should all be thinking about, but it took me a good, 16 years before I went, actually, you don't have to work 18-hour days and get back in again at 7 a.m. the next morning to do the same. Yeah, budgets are, I don't know if budgets are getting smaller, but we're being squeezed for more. And that's so our schedules get tighter, our days get longer, and so it becomes really antisocial. And that feeling of burnout is always present, and you don't want to do that because you want to be creative, but you want to give because you love what you're doing and you love crafting. So yeah, definitely just more, I'd say more hours in the day, or just less hours of work expected in the day.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Schedules and budgets never have been anyone's favorite things, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I've seen a few interviews with you talking about your start in film and media, and I wonder if you just, tell that story here. And if you had a storytelling career before film and media too, if there was something preceding that got you started.
So before I got into film and TV, I had visions of becoming a pop star. That was going to be my life. I was going to be, I grew up watching Madonna, and I was going to become her, or Britney, or Beyonce, or whoever I followed after that. And it just, yeah, it didn't happen. I ended up here. So I made a lot of I was in bands, I was in choirs, I toured with my own band, and I did that. And then I sort of fell into post production. Um, I had done creative arts at university. I had experience of editing, but I didn't know I had experience of editing. I was just making videos to go with my songs. And so when a job came up at the BBC, a trainee program, I applied for it, not really knowing what post production meant. I just thought it sounded great to work, because I thought I knew I could work in sound there, which sound, music, it was the whole connection. And I actually thought the post part meant I'd be in a post room and I'd be sorting out letters or parcels or something, but it was in the right direction. And then the more I looked into it, I was like, this sounds really interesting. I can do sound mixing and I can cable up bands and things like that. And then I started the job, and after a few, obviously worked out quite quickly that wasn't all the post production was. So I did bits of sound, I did vision, bits of, learned about grading, and over the years just sort of followed a path towards picture editing videos, and haven't really looked back since. Just discovered that I had a skill for it, and I really, really loved it, which was I mean, I had a lot of people telling me that I didn't have the temperament for it and I wasn't the right sort of person for it, because I was too interested in sound and music. I was too interested in having a good time, going out in daylight, because this was in the time when edits were pretty much always in windowless basement rooms. And I enjoyed daylight and dancing and having fun with my friends. And apparently that wasn't an editor's lot. But luckily that seems to have changed over the years, and here I am.
And I love that you have a music background because I think that's so funny that people didn't make that connection, because rhythm and timing are just so important. So there's a question about music later, and I do want to come back to that, because you must have brought a lot to editing just from that.
I mean, I'll touch on it later, but I think I find a lot of editors have a music background. A lot. I've been in a lot of editors sort of bands that have been put together for events for fun, reunions and stuff. There's an awful lot of editors, musicians, DJs, in
Oh,
this field.
wow.